What's good, y'all? A little bit of a life update. I feel like quitting KTO. And it sucks because I built this whole brand off of telling you guys to follow your dreams, but then here I am. Now, am I actually going to quit? I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't let myself. I really don't know. This is just how I've been feeling lately. So watch the full video. If you're new here, Kids Take Over, aka KTO, is my company. I run it and I host all of the content. It's basically a media outlet that focuses on the newer generation of artists and creatives. I started it at 19 years old after all my failed attempts of trying to be an intern or a journalist at another media company. You know, like Complex, High Snobiety, like all those places were the dream. I tried so many times to work my way up there, but I couldn't even get a meeting. So I was like, yo, forget this, forget trying to work at a media company. I'm gonna employ myself as the host and I'm gonna start my own media company, Kids Take Over. I interviewed a ton of artists and I would put out these interviews like every single week, but I also made sure to make content showing the journey throughout all this because I always wanted to inspire other young creatives to follow their dreams. That's really been the whole point of this all along. And it worked. Brands in the space like No Jumper slowly stopped covering the newest, freshest artists. And I, at the time, was just genuinely curious about all these new young rappers coming up. And I was really early on it. So I took it upon myself to really cover that entire scene coming up. And you guys would call it the underground scene. I personally I hate that word, but I would mix in a lot of those artists with these new mainstream artists that I just genuinely fuck with. And I really feel like we started a movement. We were amplifying these artists' careers by helping them tell their stories, you know, create more discussion around them online. You would have to walk away from our interviews feeling inspired or motivated. It was drama-free. We'd make it look super artsy, doing it in super dope-ass locations. And I only picked guests that I thought were really cool because I wanted there to be a taste-making element to this brand. And I'm not gonna lie, after doing all of that, there were a lot of great things that came out of it. It helped us grow to 80,000 subs. I met so many of my favorite artists and I got to be friends with them. It let us be known as one of the most well-curated brands in music and the place you go to find out what's cool. It got me countless DMs from you guys and people coming up to me on the street as well, being like, just telling me how much they respect me and how much they're inspired by me. And it definitely helped me make a great living after just 2 to 3 years of doing it. And this is something that I love. And look, on paper, everything was great. It was kind of perfect. To you guys, as long as I was putting out an interview every week, doing some live streams, posting on all platforms, my business was like booming to you guys essentially. But I'd say almost all of last year to now, I was not happy. Because what started off as a passion and something that I did not do for a job slowly started to die. And for a few reasons. So I want you guys to listen to these 5 things really closely. So the first thing, being the owner and the host of a media company is extremely, and I mean extremely, time consuming. I know people feel negative about Adam22 or DJ Academics, but I really gotta give them their kudos for handling all this. If I'm awake 14 hours of the day, a solid 10 to 11 hours are straight up non-stop work. I'd be working on my computer for 11 hours just non-stop behind my desk. It's funny because I tell you that you don't sit behind a desk when you choose your own job or like you run your own business. You do, it's just the desk is in your room. But I not only had to handle the back end of everything, but I'd also have to be traveling and being in front of the camera all the time to host the content and the interview. 3 Instagram stories every day, just camera to my face, saying something. Sometimes I don't even mean it, but you just have to do it. And that leads me to my second point. With all of that time being consumed, it didn't really give me a chance to focus on my social life. I realized, like, why am I always at home? Why aren't I making an active effort to go hang out with my friends, meet new people? Mind you, people would ask me to hang out, but I would be so invested into this brand and wanting to see it grow as big as possible that I would decline. That's why, if you notice, aside from a couple of W's, 2022 was pretty sluggish for KTO, if you just go back and look. And that's because I would purposely last year try and take time off and just be like, we have a video due tomorrow? Okay, cool, I'm not gonna do it. I would much rather go on a walk, go hang out with a friend, anything but work. I don't care if it's due. I get it. I get the value of being alone and, you know, learning to love yourself, all that. I'm not denying that. But you need to go and have a social life and talk to other people. So yeah, KTO was killing my social life. And once I started to break out of that, I would just really block out the KTO stuff, focus on hanging out with people. And then I noticed the company wouldn't grow and it would not balance out. Okay, next, a big chunk of the reason why I want to quit is I think I spread myself too thin by making our main content artist interviews, because I would be relying on these rappers essentially. Yeah, some months we'd travel to a city and we'd bang out like 10 interviews and that would give us 10 weeks of content. Like, that's sick, okay? Fire. But what happens when all 10 of those rappers randomly just bail because of scheduling issues? If anything, it happens the most in the music industry. Like, I'm not signing any contracts with these rappers. There's no money involved. It's just a text or an email between me, a manager, and a label person. It's really just that. Because of that, I'd be wasting hella bread going to all these different cities, planning these like bunch of interviews, and then all of them just don't happen. And then I get that feeling, it's a horrible feeling of just failure and like the anxiety that comes with that, and you spent money to be there and make something happen. It sucks a lot. Then I go home and I have no videos to put out for you guys. And what happens then? The algorithm notices that we are not a consistent channel. You know, we don't put out videos on a certain day every single week. It brings my viewership down, and overall just does not help our channel grow at all. It's like, it works the opposite way. 80,000 subs might seem like a lot to you guys for 3 years of, you know, starting from nothing. And I'm proud, but man, if we just put out consistent content, we would be well over the 200K by now. And that leads me to my next point, which is views. I hate the fact that the field I'm in, success is only really determined by the amount of views that you get. Look, I like telling stories, okay? That's why I started this. I like telling stories. I like putting people on to what I think is cool, and then that ends up becoming cool. But a lot of the times that doesn't really correlate with numbers and viewership. From being in the music industry, it is kind of sad to say, but I've noticed that numbers most of the time come from things that are either corny, not actually good, or just momentarily hype. Obviously that doesn't always apply, because like if I'm gonna interview Drake, like bruh, obviously it's gonna get numbers and he's sick, but that doesn't happen every day. So when I would interview some of my favorite artists, like favorite artists that were so talented, I noticed that wasn't really what was getting the views. But I genuinely enjoyed doing those interviews. Like, that's what I had fun with. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the highest viewed videos on our channel, I had a lot of fun doing too. But I would just notice that my favorite ones and the most talented ones, those weren't the ones that were racking up the views. And you guys know how much tastemaking is important to me and my integrity. And it hurts sometimes to do these interviews that sometimes I'm just like, this person isn't like the best. And then it goes and gets, I'm not even gonna name names. Sometimes it goes and gets like a crazy amount of views, and it's like, I thought I was doing what I love, but that's not what I love. When I'd make those behind the scenes videos of, you know, me talking to the camera like this, I love doing those videos. There was so much game in those videos, but they wouldn't go and get 100,000 views. And that's really why I stopped doing it, because I was like, why am I gonna go sit down in front of a camera and say like important and meaningful things if, you know, that's not really getting me like a bunch of views? And I know there's flaws in that, because I know that's where like our real fans come from, like the true fans watching this video. You know, you watch those videos obviously. But yeah, put yourself in my shoes. Like, you wouldn't want to keep filming videos like that. You would go try to chase those interviews that are actually growing your channel in subscribers. And keep in mind, more views and more subscribers, that just leads to more money. Like, when you get sponsorships and things like that, people want to work with brands that obviously, you know, have a voice and like are important to the culture, which we are. But like, they want to work with brands that are getting like hundreds of thousands of views. So I learned that you kind of need to lose your artistic vision and integrity if you want to make real money and be able to have a team that you could pay, and, you know, a team that can depend on you. Because like right now, for example, I have people that depend on me for their salary. And my last point as to why I want to quit, this one's important. I think just being in front of the camera and having to post something every single day, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, the feeling of having to do it, bruh, some days you're just not in the mood to do it. You're just not in the mood. I go through regular problems just like people do that have a normal job. Regular problems exist, like family issues, relationships, physical health, a death in the family. Some days I don't feel like doing any of this, but the sad part is that you have to. You know, to be an influencer, you have to do that. This all runs on an algorithm. You know, and you guys got to realize that if you're choosing to not go the regular job route, you have to remember that if you do have a regular job and you're going through something, you can go to work, and then as soon as it hits 5 p.m. or whatever time you want to check out, you can literally check out. Like, you can mentally check out and not worry about any of that stuff, and you can focus on whatever is making you sad, because you have no obligation to your work once your work hours are done. It is not like that if you're trying to do what I'm trying to do, or you're trying to be an online content creator. Like, that stuff runs 24/7. The music industry does not sleep. That runs 24 hours. And side note, you have to regurgitate a lot of the same topics every single day when you don't feel like doing it. Look, some days, I don't feel like talking about Playboi Carti. I love talking about Playboi Carti. You guys know that, but you can't talk about Playboi Carti every single day. Every day. Talking about Playboi Carti every day is crazy, but it's just true that sometimes you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it, and if you don't do it, you're inconsistent. The algorithm stops showing yourself to people. There are no breaks, and that sucks. So that all being said, I highly do contemplate these days if I should just like end the company, get a regular high-paying job, you know, maybe at like Spotify. Like, that's still interesting, but there's a few things that stop me from ending this all. I've put way too much work into this. Anyone who knows me, especially in the early days, I would work 20 times harder than the last person to really make this shit come true. And I mean, like, getting a fan base, getting these brand partnerships. Like, I worked hard for this. Also, you guys, a lot of the times I'll be walking down the street in New York and I'll be feeling down, and then some of you, like one of you, comes up to me on the train or like at a halal cart or something, and you're like, yo, I watch your videos and you inspired me to do this. And that kind of stuff really brings me joy. Like, that's why I started this in the first place. So how can I stop? And next, there's just so much untapped potential. There's so many things I didn't get to do yet. I didn't get to launch our full website blog yet. I didn't get to turn this into a full-out clothing brand yet, like, which has been my dream. I haven't done events yet. I haven't even done just simple like Instagram promo. Like, hey, I haven't even interviewed Drake yet. Like, bro, that's also my dream. Who doesn't want to interview Drake or just other icons to me? Like, I want to be able to interview the people I looked up to the absolute most, you know, and I know I'm gonna get there, but I'm not gonna get there if I stop now. I also haven't made the KTO office yet, you know. Like, I look at something like Lyrical Lemonade and what they have in Chicago, and artists will come there and play ball, and they have, it's like, I would love to do something like that. I would love to have an office home base for KTO. Like, I only really scratched the surface, okay? And when I talk to my friends about this and people that were close to me, they'll say like, you're an idiot for wanting to quit. And thank you for saying that, because I feel like that actually helps me, and you guys are right. So look, I'm not saying I lost all passion for this. There will be moments along this journey where I'll just stop in the moment and be like, wow, I'm so grateful. Like, I'm really like in a room with Joey Badass and there's no cameras and we're just literally talking about life, and like wow, like, this is awesome. Like, how did I get myself here? Like, just casually hanging out with people that I would listen to, or I'll come home one day and there will be like 7 boxes like on my front door, and it'll be from clothing brands, and you guys sending me all these things. It's like, you know, when you grow up, when you watch YouTubers and they, like Casey Neistat will have his unboxing videos, and you're like, wow, people send this guy stuff for free, like cool stuff. And now that's happening to me, because people like my content, and I love that. But yeah, I don't know if that's enough to overwrite how I'm feeling right now. But who knows? Maybe I am being an idiot about this. Maybe I need to go hire some other hosts and start a new show on KTO that doesn't rely on artists. Maybe I need to be a bit more fine with losing my integrity. Like, I don't know. You guys, please tell me in the comments. Be as brutally honest as you want. Tell me, am I making the wrong decision? Like, and I'm sorry that there hasn't been a video for a whole month. Like, that is so whack. I'm sorry for the inconsistent ass IG content, you know, for not posting on TikTok, man, I feel bad about this, but I feel so sorry for not talking to you guys in the Discord, man, and being active on there. Like, you guys are talking there every day, and I just like I'm not feeling it, and I wanted to let you guys know. So I guess I did this to let you know, but I really has just been going through it behind the scenes, man. So who knows what happens next. Stay subscribed just in case. I appreciate you guys for just letting me vent and hearing me out. Maybe some of you guys are going through something similar in life, and maybe you can relate to this somehow. But yeah, guys, I guess thanks for following me on my journey.